So it continues. Now, by two-headed Janus, nature had framed strange fellows in her time, some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and other of such vinegar aspect that they will not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear they just be laughable. Here, what Selenio is saying is that, cannot find a reason for Antonio's satires. So we cannot say why people are sad or why people are happy, because swearing by the two-headed Roman god Janus, right? Selenio says that in nature there have been strange fellows, there have been strange people. Okay? Some of these people will peep through their eyes, they will squint through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper. So some people will, squint and they will laugh at anything and everything. Just as a parrot, uh, begins to laugh at a bagpiper. A bagpiper is a musician who plays an instrument called the bagpipe. So, even if there is a very small reason, some people will laugh. But there are others of such vinegar aspect. There are others who are so sour. Vinegar is a sour liquid. So there are others so sour that they will not smile. They will not show their teeth in a smile. Though Nestor was a Roman, and even though he was very melancholy, even though he used to laugh sometimes, even though the melancholy Nestor swear the joke be funny, there are people who will not laugh, okay, at anything. So we cannot say why sadness or why happiness comes on us. It may be because of the nature, according to Selenio. Next, enter Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano. So, Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano are friends of Antonio's. So, Selenio says, here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman, Gratiano and Lorenzo. Fare you well, we leave you now with better company. So, Selenio says to Antonio that Bassanio, Antonio's kinsman, a kinsman is a relative. So, Bassanio is a relative of Antonio. So, Bassanio, Gratiano, and Lorenzo have come. So he bids Antonio goodbye. Fare you well, he says. And, he says, we leave you now with better company. So Salarino says, I would have stayed till I made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me. Salarino says, I would have waited till I made you feel happy, but now you have worthier friends, now you have better friends, and they will perhaps change your mood to one of, they will perhaps, make you feel happy. Antonio says, your worth is very dear in my regard. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart. So, Antonio says, I value you highly. Your worth is very dear. I value you too, that is Salarino and Selenio. I value both of you very highly. And he says, I think that you have some business which calls on you, and now you are making use of the arrival of Bassanio, Gratiano, and Lorenzo to depart to see to your own affairs, right? Salarino, good morrow, my good lord. So Salarino bids, Salarino wishes, Bassanio, Gratiano, and Lorenzo, good morning. Bassanio says, good signors both, when shall we laugh? Say when, you grow exceeding strange. Must it be so? So Bassanio says, good signors. Signor is a term of respect in Italy. So the play, The Merchant of Venice, is placed in Italy, is set in Italy. So it says, when shall we laugh? So when shall we get together and, laugh and talk? Say when. You grow exceeding strange. So I have not seen you of late. I have not seen you for a long time. Must it be so? Uh, Salarino says, we'll make our leisures to attend on yours. So Salarino says, we'll make our leisures, we'll find some time to attend you when you are at leisure, when you are free. Salarino and Salenio exit. Lorenzo, my lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you have in mind where we must meet. So Lorenzo says that since he has met Antonio, uh, the two of them, that is Lorenzo and Graciano, will leave them together. But he says at dinner time, okay, Bassanio should remember where they should meet. Bassanio says, I will not fail you. So he says, I will surely keep the dinner date. Right? Graciano. You look not well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the word. They lose it that do buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed. So, Graciano says, he looks at Antonio and he says, Signor Antonio, you do not look well. You look rather ill, right? You look rather unwell. So, and Graciano says that, you care about the world, you care about business, you care about others too much. So if a person cares about something too much, to a very great extent, they will lose it, says Graciano. So they lose it that do buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed. So Graciano says that Antonio has changed for worse. It means Antonio has become much sadder since they have last met. He has changed a lot since they last met. Antonio says, I hold the world but as the word, Graciano, a stage where every man must play a part and mine a sad one. So Antonio says, he thinks of the world only as a world, nothing more, nothing less. And in the world, every man must play a part. Right? So every man must do his duty, or, he must play a part in the world. And Antonio says that his part right then is a sad one. So Graciano, let me play the fool, with mirth and laughter let old wrinkles come, and let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. So Graciano says, you know, uh, he would not be sad for any reason. Let him play. He says he would rather play the fool. He'd rather make jokes. And he says, if he becomes old, when he gets wrinkles, when he becomes old with wrinkles, let him grow old with mirth and laughter, with joy and laughter. And he says, let his liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. So he says he would rather drink wine. Let his liver is affected by the wine. So let his liver heat with wine, then his heart cool with mortifying groans. Let him not feel sad, let him not groan, let his heart not be burdened with, sorrowful groans. Groans are, sounds a person makes when he is sad, right? So why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire cut in alabaster, sleep when he wakes and creep into the jaundice by being peevish? So he says, a man whose blood is warm within, a man who is young, why should a young man sit like his grandfather, like his grandsire, like the statue of his grandfather? So a statue was usually made in the alabaster. Alabaster is a type of stone. So he asks, a young man, why should he sit like the statue of his grandfather and sleep when he wakes? So why should he, feel sleepy when he is awake by being too heavily burdened with sadness and creep into the jaundice by being peevish? So why should a young man become, you know, become jaundiced by being too peevish? Peevish means that he is very sour, right? I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee and it's my love that speaks. There are a sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a willful stillness entertain, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, and profound conceit, as who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I open my lips, let no dog bark. So he says to Antonio, there are certain type of men whose visages are faces. Those faces of these men, they cream and mantle like a standing pond, and a willful stillness entertain. So they put on a show of calmness, they put on a show of peacefulness, right? And this peacefulness, this calmness that some people put on, right? That willful stillness which they entertain is meant to make others think that they are wise, that they're grave, and they're profound, right? So some people keep quiet, they sit absolutely still, right? And this seriousness, this serious look which they put on is meant to make others think that they are wise, grave, serious, and profound. And it's as though they're saying, I am Sir Oracle. An oracle is it's an aspect of God. So it's an aspect of God which could predict the future. So these people who sit so seriously, so silently, they seem to be saying, I am Sir Oracle. And when I open my lips, let when I start to speak, let everyone else be quiet, let no dog even bark. O my Antonio, I don't know of these, that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing, when I am very sure if they should speak, would almost damn those which hearing them would call their brothers fools. So Grishano says that he knows some people who only have a reputation for being wise, and most of the time they say nothing. And if they should speak, the ears of the listeners would be damned, right? And these people who would listen to these pretenders speak, they would call their brothers fools. I'll tell thee more of this another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fool gudgeon, this opinion. And so on Bresciano, just before he leaves, he says, fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fool gudgeon. Gudgeon is a type of fish. So don't turn things over in your mind. Don't have too many worries. Don't be so full of care. Fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fish called gudgeon, this opinion. So what you're perhaps looking for is only an opinion that others have of you. So finally, Gratiano says, come, good Lorenzo, fare you well a while. I'll end my exhortation after dinner. So Gratiano finally asks Lorenzo, okay, he says, let's go. And he says he'll end his speech after dinner to Antonio.